Okay, Google, what's the weather going to be like today?
In the Villages today, there'll be scattered thunderstorms with a forecasted high of 83 and a low of 74. Currently it's 81 degrees and partly cloudy. There is currently a tropical storm warning in effect.
Okay, everybody, it's time for the news. And I think I'm going to do a little combination here between the news and maybe letters to the editor and kind of combine the two because I'm busy trying to get ready for the WNL show. And yeah, so I'm just going to combine these two, put them out on Friday, and hopefully it comes out okay. I got a few complaints about last week's news. Well, a few. I got one complaint from one person. Listen, you got to cut me some slack sometimes. Not every show is going to be a hit. Not every show is going to be perfect. And not every show is going to be, how do I put it, about you. I got thousands of people that watch these things. And so I do an overall show for everybody. There's always something in there that would interest everybody in some way. And there's a lot of things in the news or any of the videos I may do that may not interest you at all. That's just the way it goes. But we just got back from a 6,500-mile trip, and I had you, the viewers, on my mind because I knew I hadn't put anything out in the Villages news or anything for a long while we were gone. Sometimes you just got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? This is the news that came out today. Oh, I just lost it. Wait a minute. Oh, by the way, cheers, everybody. Can you see my phone? There it is. Haven't had one of them for about 6 weeks now, and I miss it. Man, that's good. Successful restaurateurs will take over shuttered location in the Villages. I already know about this. I'll have to get the names for you here real quick when it comes up. But anyway, Cody's during the COVID, the Cody's that was opened up at Mulberry, the newest Cody's here, it's a steak house basically. They closed because of the COVID. It was one of the catastrophes of what was going on down here. People wasn't going in. Waitresses and waiters and servers and cooks and chefs and everybody were afraid to go to work. They just didn't show up. So Cody's closed. So they're taking over Cody's. That's it, up at Mulberry, which is a beautiful building, by the way. Let me see what it says here. It said a pair of successful restaurateurs will be taking over a location in the Villages. Felipe Billion and Kevin O'Donnell, owners of a Big Fin seafood kitchen in Orlando and Russell's on Lake Ivanhoe, will be taking over the location of Cody's original roadhouse at Mulberry Grove in the Villages. They will open a restaurant called The Back Porch. The anticipated opening the restaurant in the fall. The Cody's restaurant at Mulberry Grove closed last year during the COVID-19 pandemic and never reopened. Yes, that's true. It's a darn shame. It was previously reported that Ford's Garage would be going to the former Cody's restaurant. However, the Ford's Garage representative said the restaurant chain would not be taking over that location. Though Ford's Garage remains highly interested in coming to the Villages. I've been to Ford's Garage restaurant down in Fort Myers. It's they have a really good location. If I remember, it's the same place, Ford's Garage. It was right on the channel right there where we could watch the fishing boats come in and go out through the area right there. It's a very nice place. A little pricey for what they are. I mean, that's just my take on it, but it's a nice place. It wasn't that pricey. I mean, considering the location, I mean, I know the property where this thing is sitting at has to be just top dollar, but it was a very nice place. It's basically a beer and a burger kind of place. I mean, they have other things too. They have dinner menus and things. But yeah, I like Ford Garage. Ford's Garage, you can just about guess what the theme is, right? Okay. CDD3 supervisors to review cost of sinkhole repair at postal station. I can only assume it's a real sinkhole. I'm looking at the picture, and I'll be bringing pictures up here so you can see them. It does look like, to the picture anyway, a real sinkhole. It doesn't look like a major thing so far, but it does look like a real sinkhole. Most of these sinkholes that get reported here basically are not sinkholes at all. It's broken water pipes, drain pipes, and things like that that washes the sand away, and then whatever's above it, the road, your yard, your driveway, whatever it may be, collapses. And then right away, the first thing people say is a sinkhole. Well, at first, I can understand that. I can understand where you go, oh my God, a sinkhole's in my yard. And then they do digging later to find out, no, it was a leaky drain pipe or whatever. And then sometimes that gets reported and sometimes it don't. Charges filed in Rogue Nation incident at Villages Elementary of Lady Lake. I'll be bringing this up. Here's what I know about, they call it the Rogue Nation. It's like a little, let's just call it a club. A bunch of people have joined this club and they call it the Rogue Nation. And what they do is they sometimes apply pressures to political people, the police departments, things of that nature. I'm not sure what their tactics are. I mean, I've heard rumors of their tactics. By the way, if any of you guys at Rogue Nation are watching this and would like to be a guest on one of my WNL shows to kind of explain what it is you're trying to do, contact me and maybe we can work something out. I like interesting guests like this that's controversial. Half of you are going to hate them. The other half of you are going to say, I understand. And that's what I really like. I like to bring up a little bit of controversy. It's just like when I had the reverse mortgage people on, they're the experts. People would ask all kinds of questions and they would give them the answer. And then after the show, of course, I read all the comments. And then you see the comments where people are saying just the opposite of what the experts had to say. Now, maybe it's just me. They're the experts. And I don't see where they would have any reason to lie to you about any of this. And then people are talking like they know more about it than the experts did. So you get both sides of a story. You say, well, this is good. Well, I don't believe them. Whatever. But anyway, I have my opinion about these guys, as long as they're not breaking the law. Let's get this on the table right from the get-go. As long as they're not breaking the law, then the police enforce the law. They don't make it up. Some don't. And as long as they're doing things in a peaceable manner, in other words, they're not putting the public in danger, they're not creating a riot situation. That's all illegal anyway. But as long as they're doing things legally, I have absolutely no problem with what they're doing. From what I know, and I don't know everything, but from what I know and what I've read and what I've heard, because our nation is 200 years of this protesting. Remember the Boston Tea Party? I mean, that's just an example. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. I think it was in Wildwood somewhere where the political offices are at, the commissioner's offices are at or whatever. They're wanting to build a fence now around the employees' parking lot because these people are I would imagine what they're doing is they're yelling at the employees as they go in and out of the offices about whatever it is they're protesting. They might be protesting about the 25% tax increase. I don't know, but they're protesting. So they're yelling things. They're putting pressure on the public servants. Listen, they're the public servants. They're not here to make things up for their own personal agendas or whatever. They're public servants. They work for you and I. We pay their salary. I know they've heard this before and they don't want to hear it again, but the fact of it is they are elected officials. So if you have a problem with them, that's your right to go in and talk to them. Talk to them, not yell, scream, and cuss and all that. So these people are protesting whatever it is they're protesting, and I'll be the first to admit I don't know what it is, but they have a right to protest. And as long as they're not causing a problem or anything like I already explained, I got no problem with it. That's what makes our country great, is the fact that you can disagree with public officials. You do this in China, you could disappear. Not here. So even though I may disagree with what they're saying, which I don't know what it is, I'm not saying I do disagree. I'm saying even if I did disagree with what they're saying, I will defend their right to say it because that's who we are. All right, I've said my piece on that. $91,000 price tag for fresh sod and irrigation at Springdale Fitness Trail. Finding a mutual combat leads to dismissal of case involving villager. Huh. That sounds interesting. What is that? Have no idea. This guy's face looks familiar, though. I've seen this picture before. A finding of mutual combat has led to a dismissal of a criminal case involving a resident I got hiccups, of the villages. That determination prompted the prosecutor's office last month to announce that no information will be filed in a case in which 73-year-old James Edward Rogers of the village of Rio Grande had been arrested on a charge of aggravated battery. His arrest stemmed from an April 2 incident in which he was helping a woman move her belongings out of a residence in Tavares. Tavares is another town. According to an affidavit of probable cause from the Lake County Sheriff's Office, a 911 call was received after a man was injured when Rogers struck him in the face with a four-way tire iron. Ooh, ouch! Oh, Lord. That could have killed the guy, man. The man suffered multiple lacerations to the face and head. Rogers also allegedly pulled a handgun out of his pocket. Another man at the scene subdued Rogers before law enforcement arrived. The injured man was transported to Advent Health Waterman Hospital in Tavares and suffered permanent scarring to the face, the affidavit said. Okay. Don't know what happened there, but it ended up ugly. Oh, man, I missed that. Seabreeze Recreation Center and Sports Pool will be closed Friday. Cleaning and updating. This is that time of year where they do a lot of that, so it's not a big deal. Day or two, and they'll be back open again. Judge orders villager into batterers. What it says, batterers intervention program after bathrobe brawl. Sorry. I see these two old farts out there arguing in their bathroom. A judge has ordered 79-year-old villager into batterers intervention program after a bathrobe brawl with his wife. Batterers intervention. Is there really such a thing? Batterers intervention program? All these brilliant minds we've elected to office, that's the best name they could come up with. Batterers intervention program. Almost sounds like you're stuttering. Terry Douglas Cochran of the village of Poinciana last month in Sumter County inked a pretrial intervention contract that will enable him to escape prosecution on a charge of battery if he meets certain conditions outlined in the contract. He must complete batterers intervention program, pay $300 in court costs, pay a $50 monthly supervision fee, and pay a $100 prosecution fee. You know, I think they could have put another charge on him if they wanted to. Florida is notorious for having a charge of whatever it may be, assault or battery, whatever you want to call it, on a person 65 years of age or older. That is a law. Like I'm 69. So if somebody hits me, not only will we get them for whatever, but that would be an additional charge for assault. Okay, let's do a letters to the editor from the same news report. Okay, letters to the editor. Says, rented a place here, which happened to be the 4th of July. I was told by several homeowners that there were no fireworks here. There isn't. Legally. Your neighbor may go out and set up a firecracker or something like that, and that's illegal. But, I mean, not to say it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in my neighborhood anyway. But, I mean, no, there is no fireworks here in the villages. But there's towns that surround the villages, like Lady Lake, Wildwood. There's next door to the villages. That's a different town. And if they want to have fireworks there, that's fine. So, you know, it all depends on what you like and what you don't like. Anyway, I shouldn't be commenting on this, should I? But anyway, I did, and I'm going to leave it there. Renters rented the place for 4th of July, and I was told that by the homeowners that there were no fireworks here. I thought, oh, my dogs will be so happy. Nope. I may as well have been at Disney with the noise from all directions here. That is sent in from Kathleen Brennan, the village of Marsh Bend. Well, I don't know who told you that there's no fireworks around here, because that's not true. It's in the villages. You have to get your head straight. In the villages is not the world. It's just inside the villages. Brownwood, Lake Sumter Landing, Spanish Springs. There's no fireworks, legal fireworks that goes on here. In other words, the villages don't sponsor any kind of fireworks activity or anything like that. They won't do it. And I can understand why. The houses here are so close together that if one gets on fire, we got a problem. I mean, so in fireworks, things can happen. So, but Wildwood is not in the villages, and Lady Lake is not in the villages. Coleman, Coleman, that's the little town down south there by Finney, past them. Coleman is not in the villages. That's on the outer edges of the village, and they can do what they want. I mean, it's not our town. So that's where you're getting things kind of screwed up. Whoever told you there's no fireworks in the villages, that is true. Is there fireworks around the villages? Yes. Letter to the editor. Some of these people, when they write a letter to the editor, they write a book. Like the editor's got nothing better to do but to read this 5-page book that this person sent. To the editor. Why is it so damn hard for people to be nice to others lately? I'm so thankful my mother and grandmother are not around to see what has become of common courtesy today. But in some cases, that is exactly right. I witnessed a lot of that out in California. Common courtesy. Gee, man, Christmas. I'm sorry. I don't want to point the finger. I've got my personal opinions. I think what's happened to a lot of common courtesy here in the country. It isn't there anymore. When I was growing up, I was raised, if I would say, riding a bus. So sometimes we take these school trips and we're on the bus. And on these school trips, a lot of the times, you were allowed to bring your mother or your grandmother or somebody with you on the school trip. They just allowed it. And I was raised that if an elderly person needed a place to stay or sit, I was to get up and let them have my seat. And I remember doing this. And to this day, even though I'm the elderly person now, to this day, if I'm in a place where I see, I don't know, elderly people walking around with walkers and canes and things like that, they're having a hard enough time walking. And then I see a lot of chairs sitting around with all these kids sitting in the chairs playing with their cell phones and who knows what they're doing, texting girlfriends and whatever. And this poor old person is standing there, maybe looking for a place to sit because they're having a hard time. Maybe they're in pain standing there with their hips or whatever. And these kids are just totally oblivious to this elderly person standing there, just totally oblivious. I have noticed that. I don't know, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, whoever's raising these millennials, you need to take your back of your hand and smack them upside the head and tell them what to do because they ain't got enough brains to do it on their own. Who berates the teenage bagger because he didn't bag your items just right? Or the server who spaced out the 14 plus creamers for your coffee while she was in the weeds in the middle of Sunday brunch? Let's read that again. Who berates the teenage bagger because he didn't bag your items just right? Or the server who spaced out the 14 plus creamers for your coffee while she was in the weeds in the middle of Sunday brunch? Comments below. The new mail carrier who's not quite dialed in on the route and makes rookie mistakes. Is it really necessary to make that call to complain as if your entire world has caved because someone made a simple mistake? We're all human and we all make mistakes. There is no reason to behave this way towards others. It's just not okay. We're all in this together. People, let's all act accordingly. Gertrude Walton, the village of Sanibel. By the way, I am going to bring up the pictures that they've got posted along with that letter to the editor right there I just read. The picture says it all. Church passes out 200 little white crosses in support of ongoing battle in the villages. See, these are the things that I think are stupid. I'll just come right out and tell you. If you're willing to go to battle over a little white cross that you put in your flower bed or whatever and carry on like this, I just think you're stupid. And I'll say it again. I think you're being stupid because that cross has nothing to do with anything. Has nothing to do with religion or freedom of religion or anything like that. It's just that you guys have decided that you drew the line in the sand and this is it. You know, my grandpa always told me growing up, he said, learn to pick your fights. To me, this ain't even a fight. This is dumb. I wouldn't even have anything to do with this, but you do what you want. If you want to carry on like a bunch of old duffers with nothing better than life to do but to argue about this stupid little white cross, that's totally up to you, because I just think it's dumb. Villager who helped champion Sumter County Trio wants a seat on CDD 7. I don't care. Talks about golf courses being closed because of excessive rain. That's true. A Village of Monarch Grove woman was jailed without bond after she was picked up on a warrant. Donna Mae Dixon, 65, was booked at 11:38 p.m. Friday at the Sumter County Detention Center after she was picked up on a warrant by the Wildwood Police Department. A hold has been put on her release by Broward County. The Dearborn, Michigan native had been arrested in 2001 on a felony charge of possession of cocaine in Pompano Beach. Court records indicate the case was never disposed. A warrant had been issued for her arrest. Shame on you. I know. It wasn't yours, right? They always say that. Well, that's not mine. I never seen it before. I don't know. I don't know whose that is. Artificial sweeteners associated with weight gain. I've heard that before. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if there's any scientific evidence actually on that, but I have heard that before. Here's a letter to the editor about Costco and P.F. Chang's, up to which I think I have the correct answer to both of them before I even read this. To the editor, Costco would be a really great addition near the Villages. They've been saying that for years. It ain't going to happen because our population ain't big enough, and this company has to make a profit. Putting up a $5 million building and stock it and parking lots and the price of property in the Villages and make a golf cart accessible if they wanted to and all that kind of stuff. Millions and millions of dollars, and we only have 140,000 people. 140,000 people. That ain't near enough people for this Costco, especially when there's one like, 45 miles away? It ain't going to happen. The Villages in Connecticut, I always shopped at Costco. Well, good for you. Never at Sam's Club. Leesburg, Summerfield, or Ocala would be a great location for Costco. I don't know about that. I mean, what do I know? What do I know? Costco hires big dollar companies to go out and tell them where to put the next Costco. They know. They have the resources to know. Did you ever wonder, how does McDonald's know where to put all these McDonald's? I mean, hardly ever go out of business. Like, well, once in a while, maybe, hardly ever. And sometimes you think you got too many McDonald's, but yet they survive because they hire companies that know what they're doing. They would also be perfect locations for P.F. Chang's. Apparently, you don't keep up with the news about P.F. Chang's around here. I did a video on it not too long ago about P.F. Chang's being right down there in Brownwood, and the whole scenario, what was going on there, and never mind. Chang's was planning to open in Brownwood, but I don't know what happened to that plan. Maybe Costco and P.F. Chang's could both open in the same location, like the three areas mentioned earlier. Judy Pleska, Village of Duval. P.F. Chang's sold out to another company. Yes, they did have plans on moving in that building down in Brownwood, and they sold out to another company. I don't know who. I don't remember the story. But that other company decided that moving here was not a good fit, and they backed out of the whole deal. Now the people that's going to go in that building in Brownwood, by the way, has never had anybody in there ever in 8 years that place has been built, is the same company, FMK Foods. And FMK Foods in the southern part of the Villages is almost, I'll say it's almost communistic. They own everything. So whenever you might think, well, I don't want to go to Evans Prairie because I don't like what they do there, I'm going to go to Belle Glade. Same company. They got all these restaurants around here. They got the Belle Glade. They got Evans Prairie. They got the Bonifay. They got Scooples. They got Bluefin. And now, straight across the street from Bluefin, where that empty building is restaurant, they're opening a restaurant there, and I think they told me they were going to call it Farm to Table or something like that. So it's the same company, and they just got these different ideas about going around. And look, I got my opinions about it. But I also see the business side of it too. The developer's company. This is a corporation. You can't point the finger at the developer for each and everything and say him. No, it's a corporation, and the corporation has meetings, and they got different segments of that corporation that decides on certain things. One of which is the buildings that the company owns, and they rent them out. You know, they rent these things out in a contractual basis. And they want to get their money every month. I mean, just like if you owned a house and an apartment, if you've ever owned one, sometimes you know how hard it is to get these people to pay their rent on time. without you having to go up there and knock on the door. So this is what they're doing. And FMK is a proven company. They've been here for a while. They own a lot here. I think they've also got Orange Blossom Gardens, the country club up there, and I can't think of the name of it. Maybe it is called Orange Blossom Country Club. But anyway, they got that one up there too. So they got their foot in the door. They're reliable. The food isn't that bad. The prices, when they moved in, they started jacking prices up, and everybody else started following. And that's the thing that I look at is when I moved in here, beer was $1.65 at the bar. Now I don't even know what it is. Over a period of time, they got it up to $2.50, and then the rest of them started doing it, and then I don't even know what it is now. Yeah, look, they pay their rent. It's a guaranteed income for the company, and so I understand what they're doing. I just wish that we could get a different variety of things and different companies and different stuff. And what does that take? I don't know, because all the other companies they're building buildings or renting buildings, one or the other, kind of like out on the edge of the villages, like Olive Garden. That's not in the villages actually, but it's golf cart accessible. And I go there. That's probably one of my favorite restaurants. Red Lobster's up there. Fresh Market is up there. There's all kinds of stuff up there that's actually not in the villages. Now, I don't know how all that works, but it is there, and we go there a lot. And I'll go down to downtown Brown. I've ate at all the restaurants around here, and they're all fine. They're all fine. I got nothing against none of them, really. It's just that in the back of my mind, I know it's the same company. It's the same company. It's the same company. And, it is what it is. Now, we do have Five Guys. I am not a Five Guys fan. Never have been. But that's just me. I mean, they're down at Brownwood, so they're doing okay. So a lot of people are a fan. There's McAllister Sandwich Shop. I do go there once in a while. It's not a regular stop for me, but I do go there once in a while. What else is down there? They got this new place that took over the Ricciardi's Italian restaurant. Can't think of the name of it. I don't even know who owns it. I ate there once. I was totally disappointed. Totally. My order was totally screwed up when I got it. It wasn't the same at all. I got priced out as far as I'm concerned. I thought the price was just totally ridiculous. And I'm not going to go back until either I hear or somehow things has changed. That's just my opinion. I think $94 for me and Sue to have dinner was ridiculous. Now, I gave the waitress a $20 tip, so you take that off of there too. I took care of her because she did a great job taking care of us. It wasn't her fault that everything was totally screwed up. I'm not going to go back there until things straighten out, and they might eventually. Who knows? But my favorite place to go, really, as far as country clubs go, I go to all of them. They have a rank with me. I like to go to Evans Prairie a lot. I think it's because it's just so convenient to where I live. But I do go to Bonifay once in a while. It's okay. I do go to Belle Glade once in a while. Matter of fact, that's where we're going to have our Patreon lunch. Well, we already had it. By the time you see this, we've already had the Patreon lunch. This will be fun. This will be fun, the Patreon lunch, because this storm is coming through and everybody's freaking out. They think that, somehow that the wind, the rain, and the hurricane is going to blow us all away or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it will. I have no idea. Only thing I know is I was here during Hurricane Irma. I did not go anywhere, and the eye of the hurricane came right over the villages, and I videoed all of it. After seeing that, and that hit Tampa at a Category 4. By the time it got here, it was either a high 1 or a low 2. That's all contradictory about that. A tropical storm doesn't faze me, other than there'll be a lot of rain, I'm sure. And there'll be some wind, I'm sure. But hey, they got inside seating. I'm just not worried about it. So I'm going to go there. If nobody shows up, then me and Sue's going to have a nice dinner. If they do show up, then we'll have a nice time and conversation. What can I tell you? Patrons, see you. Well, I have already seen you. It was fun. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get this thing together and get it up for Friday. I hope you guys understand why I've kind of put the two together, because I got some things I want to get done. That way I can get this edited, get it on Friday on the calendar, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. I got some more RV videos that I'm going to be putting up. I'm doing about 1, sometimes 2 a week on the RV channel. I'm getting a lot of good comments on them. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I guess I'll see you on Wednesday Night Live, right? You guys are my loyal followers. I'll see you on Wednesday Night Live. I've got a couple of games. I got at least 2 games I got to come up with. I have a guest that I'm working on. I talked to him a while ago on the phone, trying to get things straightened out here the best that we can. So anyway, come to the Wednesday Night Live show. Show your support when you come to the show, because without your support, the show I won't say wouldn't be there, but some of the games, the prizes, and all that stuff we give away, without your support, we just wouldn't have it. And I do have my loyal supporters, and I thank them very much. And I have my Patreon members. They're also very much appreciated, because virtually none of that money from Patreon people, or actually from the supporters on the WNL show, the super chats and the super stickers, none of that money goes in my pocket. I've said it before. I don't know if anybody believes me or not. I just don't know what else to tell you. I can't prove it, but most of that money goes back into the show in one way or another. It also pays for 75% of all the prizes that we give away. And I have some prizes over here. Plus, I've got a couple of Patreon members that, God bless them, if it wasn't for them, some of these prizes would never even be here. They are constantly sending me things, or giving super chats and super stickers and things like that. That's large enough to where we can afford to do a lot of the things that we're doing, and we can do as many as we can. That's the great thing about this community, or my community, my people, my peeps, you my peeps, that we can do all this. So I'll see you on the Wednesday Night Live show, which will be 2 or 3 weeks from now. But hey, I'm still working on it. We'll get it done. I'm babbling now. I'm going to shut up. See you guys on the other side.